We've been traveling Australia for over a year now, and the holidays are always the worst time to travel, and this year is no exception. Hi everyone. It's been a bit of a hectic week for us. It feels like within days we have gone from places we go to being completely empty to completely packed. So last time you saw us, we were just leaving Bruny Island on the ferry. We've since been hanging around the Huon Valley area, which is beautiful, by the way. You're probably wondering where we are now. Well, we are actually doing the Hearts Peak Summit Trail. And we actually tried to film this a few days ago, but ended up leaving due to crappy campers. But we'll get into that a little bit later. First, let's enjoy this hike. When Wehan's alarm goes off mid-hike.
We always set like alarms past the point of like, oh, this is when you need to wake up. As like oh, this is like your last emergency alarm. I think Lydia sets like 40+ alarms every morning.
And I always say, oh, if I'm not up by then, I'm calling in sick. Because we used to say that back when we were working. Now, Wehan's alarm goes off constantly midway through the day.
I just disturbed the peace though. It's so nice here.
So like, beautiful. So peaceful.
So quiet.
We made it at the summit and the views are incredible. So on a cleary day, we can see Mount Wellington, which we actually can right now off in the distance. There's all these other mountain ranges. We've got the lakes, and on a very clear day, we should be able to see Bruny off in the distance. Now, it's completely clouded over, so we can't see it, but it is just amazing up here. The one thing that's really different about this mountain compared to a lot of the other ones we've done is usually the other ones we do, there's not many other mountains around it. So you get up to this really high peak and there's not much at the same height around it. But I felt like with this hike, every time we got some sort of elevation and started getting higher, a new mountain would pop up in the distance. I feel like every mountain looks very different. Like you've got those really pointy, like dolerite, I think it is, the rock. The pointy dolerite mountains, and then you've got these like really flat mountains. They're all just so different. It's really cool.
Yeah, I almost feel like one in, I don't know, every 2 mountains would be like a signature mountain of like a range. Like if it was somewhere else. Somewhere else. But it's just kind of like, oh yeah, casual, just cool mountain that looks like Cradle Mountain. Oh yeah, another one that looks like Cradle but more extreme. Oh yeah, just another one over there. It's pretty insane. Now, excuse how bright it is. It is a clear day, except for inconveniently over Bruny, it's very cloudy. But every time, like Lydia said, you go up a little elevation, you look around, you're like, whoa, mountain. But with that as well, you go, whoa, lakes. And I can see right here at least maybe 5 or 6 different lakes that is along the like boardwalk to come up here. And that's because very much like at Cradle Mountain with Dove Lake, this is like a alpine region, and back in the Ice Age, I believe this was like glaciers, and all of it was carved because of glaciers. It's just really cool. It's pretty windy up here, so we'll put the camera away and enjoy it for a little bit, and then head down.
See you when we're down. We're having a celebratory drink. Hey Wehan?
How
fitting. Oh no, don't leave the over. That was dangerous.
I feel like for every single state, somehow, even like the big chains are vastly different in what products they have. And this is the first product that we noticed in Tasmania. And you know what? We did Hearts today, so we have to drink Hearts today. Now, we saw it a lot in the northern part of Tasmania, and I mean, I can't really say the southern part because we haven't really been in grocery stores that often, but it was so difficult to find hearts, and also hearts at reasonable prices. But I finally found some, and I may have gotten a little carried away.
He got very excited. He was like, oh, I only got one flavour, and then he came in the van and had about 25. Don't drop it. Oh my
25? God. No. So this is the only options that I had, and there was also lemonade, but I mean, lemonade's always the same. But what makes these so special is that apparently the water that the drink is made out of, because it's sody and sody is water, comes from the Southwest Wilderness. So it actually comes probably not from Hearts, potentially from Hearts.
Possibly near Hearts.
Possibly near Hearts, but nevertheless, still comes from the Southwest forests, so...
100% Tasmanian spring water.
Yeah. I feel like every single country does creaming soda differently, and I feel like this sort of smells like the South African one, but...
Really?
Yeah. So, I think the Australian one's disgusting, in my opinion.
Also, don't judge that we're doing this in our coffee mugs. We don't have glasses. This is all we have.
I mean, I feel like if we had glasses, they probably would have broken by now.
Yeah, so. True.
Creaming soda also, like, it's always such different colors, yeah. Like yellow, brown, pink, whatever, green.
Try it.
So, it smells really good though.
It smells like musk sticks and marshmallows.
It does.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. I like them. The flavor's not that intense, but it's pretty good, I'd say. What do you reckon?
Like South Africa or no?
Pretty similar, actually.
Just not as strong.
Probably a little bit more vanilla-y,
yeah.
I'd say. But, I mean, I think
it.
I prefer
only
this
had
one.
A tiny sip.
Not gonna lie.
Ooh.
So, as you may have been able to tell from Lydia wearing pajamas, we are actually at our campsite now, and it's actually pretty nice. We're literally in the remote wilderness with no signal and surrounded by beautiful forests and a river called Arv River that flows from the mountain ranges and goes down a waterfall. We were actually here a couple of days ago, but decided that we had to leave.
I love how you called me out, Vian, for wearing pajamas. And no one would have known at that point because I had not shown myself in the clips of the soda, but I still have my hiking shirt on. I just have pajama pants on.
You'll be amazed at what you can find in reflections, Lydia. Especially if there's a mirror.
I'll be in the mirror in the back. So when we rocked up here a few days ago, it was pretty packed, but there was one caravan who was taking up loads of room. Like, they had spread all their stuff out everywhere. And we didn't think too much about it, but later on in the day, they ended up getting noisier and noisier, and they were actually throwing a party and having new people rocking up continuously throughout the night. Now, Vian and I didn't have an issue with this because in the holidays, we know that a lot of people are using their short block of leave. So they want to come out, camp, party, make the most of it, make noise. We don't really see it as an issue. We're not bothered. So we went to bed at, I don't know, something really early, like 8 p.m. because we were going to do the Hearts Mountain Summit the next day. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I knew that I'd heard a really loud noise. And I was like, what on earth? And I waited like a couple of minutes and heard it again. And I turned to Vian and said, Vian, there's fireworks. Because these people were illegally lighting fireworks. Fireworks are illegal to light without a permit in Tassie, and I think you pretty much only get permits for set events. So these guys were lighting fireworks and we thought, you know what, maybe it's just a one-off, and we just kept listening out, but they were lighting new batches of fireworks every 10 minutes, and this is at 11 p.m. and it went all the way through to just before midnight. Every 10 minutes lighting fireworks, and people were hooning down the street and joining this party at the campsite. So it was an absolute mess. It was fireworks, hooning, partying, chaos. And for you guys who've been following us a long time, you know that last year we had an issue with dodgy campers, and after that situation, Wehan and I promised to ourselves that if ever we felt uncomfortable or a situation was dangerous, we would leave no matter what. So we got up in the middle of the night, quickly whacked some proper clothes on, put shoes on, got in the front, and awkwardly maneuvered past these guys to get out and left. This time of year is the year that we absolutely dread the most as van lifers, because everywhere is packed, everywhere is hectic, whether that's campsites, whether that's main tourist attractions, but it also brings out a lot of disrespectful campers as well, and it's usually when we have the most issues. But we're both really happy with how we handled that situation, and we're also really glad that we came back and didn't let that experience ruin Hearts Mountain and this campsite. The campsite was amazing last night because we stayed here last night, and hopefully we'll have an amazing night tonight. Fingers crossed. We're going to continue exploring Tassie over the next few days as we head north. We're going to be going along the west coast, and fingers crossed the rest of our week isn't that hectic. I'm recording you while you set up your phone.
Well, last night ended up being a pretty good night. We didn't have any issues.
Thankfully.
Thankfully. Hopefully it stays like that for the remainder of this video and perhaps the year. But we have a lot to get done today. It's kind of like a typical travel day. It's like a hard reset. So we have to do groceries, top up our water, empty our rubbish, the whole works. So see you at the next stop.
All stocked up. Big shop.
Groceries, big shop.
My commentary, big shop, that's it. So we're well overdue a big shop. We're gonna do a big shop. Sheesh, we just did a big shop. I am sweating right now, but huge shop. So we mostly do our huge big shops. We just try and save our really big bulk shops so when we're in bigger towns and bigger cities.
Well, at least you didn't say it 5 times.
Well,
groceries done, so
we're stocked up for the West Coast.
Then, isn't it?
Maybe
well,
fuel,
a
couple more stops.
Cool.
Whoa! Compost cubes and bin bags?
Yeah.
Sorted.
We can poop now.
We've been holding it in.
No, we haven't.
Fueling up.
Yeah.
Stop. You're embarrassing. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're in remote wilderness. It is incredible, it is beautiful, but we've been driving for I think 4 hours today. So I'm pooped. I can't even imagine how Wehan feels being the driver. But as soon as he pulled up, he yawned and stretched. So I think that means we're gonna have a chilled night and we'll see you tomorrow.
I love how you just nonchalantly went, we're in the middle of the wilderness, it's amazing. It looks amazing.
We'll show it tomorrow.
We'll show it tomorrow, but like, this is like, I was kind of expecting very much like the Northwest kind of vibe. And it's totally different.
Yeah. I think driving through was like an even more lush version of the Tarkine.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like a lot of the reviews of like the Gordon area is that people say that it's a long drive and it's quite windy and whatever. This is, in my opinion, significantly nicer than the Tarkine drive.
Yeah, I'd say it was a lot lusher.
Yeah.
And considering we're in summer, you'd expect it to like...
And had a couple of scorcher
really hot days this week.
Scorcher days. Yeah.
It was really beautiful, and then you've got that aspect of suddenly like mountains would pop out in front of us.
And it's so dramatic as well.
Yeah,
it's like going uphill and you're down, and then it's like, what?
It's incredible. And then as we started getting closer to the area that we're at now, there were suddenly lakes, and I was like, oh my gosh, it is just beautiful. So.
But we'll show you that tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
So we have driven deep into the southwest wilderness to get here at Gordon Dam. It's so funny, my voice is echoing.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Now, this is Tasmania's biggest dam, and it is 140 meters high and 198 meters long, so it is massive. Huge. It's terrifying.
It's huge.
But apparently we can walk down onto it.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna go do that now.
Now, I wouldn't say that we are expressly afraid of heights. I think the highest and probably the most exposed thing that we've done in terms of heights so far around the lap would be the tree.
Pemberton, the climbing tree.
The
Bicentennial
tree. And that really gave us jelly legs pretty wild, and I feel like we're probably just procrastinating going onto the dam.
Probably.
Because we've probably spent like 10-15 minutes just staring at it. It's huge and very, very, very high, and I can't imagine coming here and being like, let's build a dam.
And being the person who built it.
Yeah, people.
Not just one person.
Would take more than a lifetime, but it would just, taking on that, it would have been like a behemoth of like a project. It's terrifying, and also just, I mean, as far as it goes for like infrastructure, it's actually very beautiful. It sounds weird to say, but it's like framed beautifully.
I think it's the surrounds too. Like this wilderness area is stunning.
I definitely wouldn't come out here to see the dam, but more so see the wilderness and the dam.
I think just
they go hand in hand. But I think we're just procrastinating right now as well, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Even just going down the staircase to the top of the dam, should I even like just add, is so eerie. The noises, the creaks, everything is just, oh man. I like the little basket that they have there to like take things down. It's pretty cool. I was wondering how ridiculous got that basketball hoop down, and that answers it. I'm filming for insurance purposes, just in case one of us fall. When the staircase is rusted. You haven't looked over this side yet, Lydia, have ya?
Completed in 1974. You actually used to be able to abseil on this dam, and before we set out on the lap, Wehan and I had that on our list to do. I think it was the world's longest abseil.
Yeah,
Or the world's
I think
highest
so.
abseil, but they actually stopped offering it, I believe, a couple of years ago. So we're not able to abseil it. And now that I'm here,
Kind of glad.
I cannot imagine abseiling down that.
I think if we booked it and we paid for it, we would do it.
Yeah, of course.
But
I feel like we would
I'm
have
kind of
booked
relieved that we can't.
Yeah, I feel like we would have booked it and then not thought about it.
Yeah.
And rocked up and suddenly been like terrified.
Touching on the abseiling, I can't imagine how weird of a sensation it would be to go down this dam, because not only is it curved like this, it's also, geez, it's amplified. I need to bust out Pavarotti again. Echo. Somebody once told me the world is pepperoni.
I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
She was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb. But it's also curved like this.
You know what's gonna be so funny? They said there was 24/7 video surveillance. Can you imagine someone watching this and we're just singing All Stars?
But it's also curved like this. So going down it, if you looked up, you'll pretty much just be looking at a wall. That is pretty wild. I think it'll be very, 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 very scary, and probably one of the most adrenaline rushy things you could do in the world.
We sound like such babies.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude.
This is wild.
Careful with that. What spiders living up here?
Now, unfortunately, it's not just a beautiful spot, just like anything. It has some sort of environmental impact. Well, it did have an initial environmental impact, and not specifically the Golden Dam, but more so Lake Pedder. So unfortunately, they did plan on flooding that lake, and that lake is now, I think it's like 20 to 25 meters higher than what the initial waterline was. So obviously that did affect the surrounding area, and that actually kick-started environmental group, and I think it's one of the first environmental groups in Australia. And that environmental group was the same, I think the same group that actually protested the dam that they were going to build further down from this one in the middle of the wilderness. I mean, we're in the middle of the wilderness now, but on the last wild river, as Tasmanians call it. But that's the very reason why I feel like Lydia and I have fallen in love with Tasmania, is that it is just filled with so many passionate people that genuinely care about the wild, each other, and just literally everything. Obviously, I'm not qualified to talk about it or anything, but this dam probably has a better environmental impact than it would have been if we continued going down the path that we were going with the increase in power consumption. And hydro is one of those things that is just, it's such an engineering marvel. And obviously, if you can look past the initial damage that it causes, it is a pretty cool
concept. With that said, it probably also gets to a point where it becomes a little ridiculous in the sense of the rest of Australia now looking towards Tasmania to make up for their shortcomings, I want to say, with them hydro branding Tasmania as the nation's battery, but with all the dams and things that they're implementing to make up for the rest of the nation, it can take a toll on the wildlife as well as the wilderness. But I do also recognize that, you know, you have to look past the now and look into the future, especially with the way the world's going with electrifying everything, like cars and everything. There would be a huge surge in demand on the grid for even just day-to-day use, like with cars. So that electricity has to come from somewhere, and it has to be stored somewhere. Have this hike all to ourselves. It's a easy
Just close it off. Oh dear. Well, we are now at Mount Field National Park, which is Tasmanian Wilderness Heritage Area.
Yeah, this is already such a throwback to the Tarkine and Cradle and that whole wilderness area. It almost looks exactly the same.
Right, the ferns everywhere, the water, how lush it is.
It's definitely a change to the coastline that we're used to now.
Paddies must be very used to humans. This is the least skittish I've ever seen a pademelon. They are just sat there in front of us.
Except for at Leven Canyon.
Oh yeah, Leven Canyon too. They're just chilling, they're so pretty. I told Bian start filming because there's a massive tree. Look. I feel like I give a good scale for it.
Yeah, that's huge.
You got massive trees and lots of paddies.
Oh yeah.
The perfect combo.
I think we can already hear the waterfall. It's
that felt so quick, hey?
Yeah, that was very, very short. So
felt like 5 minutes of walking and 5 minutes of looking at paddies.
That's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. What? I think I can say for both of us that I genuinely did not expect this to be as big.
Me neither.
And also, like, if you ignore like the sheer drop size and the flow rate of some of the waterfalls we've seen, I think this is probably the most impressive and beautiful one.
It's definitely one of them for sure, because I feel like the surroundings add to it.
Yeah.
Like you've got the rocky little creek at the bottom, you've got all these ferns hanging over it. It's really impressive, and then where it's got that like multi-tier drop.
Yeah,
it's so beautiful, and the mist flying everywhere.
Yeah, and the type of rock as well. Like it almost looks like very refined.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like smooth rock. It's like got character and texture to it. It's
so beautiful.
Very beautiful. But we're off to our next
Yes.
Is it a waterfall?
We've extended it to Horseshoe Falls.
Yeah.
Which I think is another 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. So, see you there.
Let's go.
We're approaching the other waterfall now.
I love how you say that and then there's like this awkward silence as we walk towards it.
Yeah.
We started
I got
filming a
distracted,
little too
okay.
early.
Yeah. We're starting to approach it now and I'm being attacked by ferns. Oh my gosh.
Wait, that's cool.
That is so cool. I really want to climb into it. Like just swim.
Go for a swim, it'll be freezing.
Maybe maybe we can do what the old mate did at
Lilydale.
Lilydale. Oh my gosh, he is naked. He is. You're right, he's naked.
Oh my gosh.
It's so
Wow.
beautiful. What?
It's the green and the framing around it and the ferns and it's just, they're so beautiful, these waterfalls.
Yeah. It's not much to say about it other than
Beautiful.
beautiful.
We are back in the van and back on the road. We really wanted to spend a night at Mount Field, but all of the campsites are fully booked. So sadly no luck this time and we're gonna hit the road again. So we're continuing the hydro theme and stretching our legs at the Tarraleah power station.
Not like Gordon, where it's just a dam with a power station. I think the power station in Gordon is actually a bit windy. It was actually like underground, whereas this is, I mean, the power station's there, but instead of having a dam connected to the power station, it has multiple dams up the stream, and then the water flows through pipes into the power station. And what's special about this compared to Gordon is that they use the same water and the same water flow over multiple power stations. So even like further down, they have the same water going through there. And they're actually, I think, potentially upgrading the turbines at these power stations. So using the same water and same water flow rate, they're gonna produce like, I think, double the amount of power that they do now, which is pretty cool. And you can see another power station there as well. So it's like boom, 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 boom. It's kind of cool. I feel like infrastructure can only be as cool as it can be. But I'd never expected the pipes to be this big, because I feel like you see them in images and like video games and whatnot like all the time, but you don't really see the scale of the pipes.
I'm laughing at you saying video games.
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like coming from Perth or WA, it's kind of just like, you know, gas and coal and whatnot.
Yeah, it's cool to see.
It's cool to see for the first time. I'm sure many people have seen power stations and whatever all their lives, but we haven't, so.
A great spot to stretch our legs.
It's a nice spot to stretch our legs as well, so, yeah. And it's still beautiful.
Yeah. Well, good morning everyone. We are currently at the Lake Binney North Shore campground. And the one morning we're here and leaving is when it's completely foggy and you can't see anything. So trust us in saying that it's a very, very beautiful campsite.
So peaceful.
I think the first couple nights we had it all to ourselves, right?
Yeah, and even still, like now, there's only one other setup here.
Yeah, it's such a good spot and very accessible. But I feel like our week has been
Completely
pretty derailed. Yeah, so we actually ended up spending 3 nights here. And I guess we just kind of wanted to address it. I think it's easy with travel stuff to just pick up the camera and just keep going and make it seem like everything's easy and happy and you know what I mean? But I guess we kind of want to show that, you know, I think this is so hard to say. We're struggling this year, I'd say.
Yeah.
Obviously we started off the year with some crappy campers and things
With
being
that
really
as well,
hectic.
there was like horrible news of like my best friend.
Yep, having some health stuff.
Yeah, and
this week we had some big stuff with family popping up, which just completely derailed us. And
which is why we stayed here for a couple of days, just to sort it out and
take some time. So I guess we just want to acknowledge it, that obviously we're very lucky and privileged to be living the lifestyle we are, and it's great. And there's a lot of happy days, but stuff still happens and we're struggling, and we just want to acknowledge that.
Yeah, so
I guess a heads up. And we're back on the move today because as well we can only stay here 3 nights.
Yeah.
So we're back on the move. Just today we're going a little bit further and then we are where we wanted to be. So I guess we've got a little bit of driving today and a couple of stops.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
That's it, so.
Let's go. Of course, as we're about to drive off, it starts to clear. It's pulled over as we were driving out. We spotted a platypus. Look at it. Oh man. They're so amazing.
Whatever starts with.
Well, we've just pulled over because apparently right now we are at the geographical centre of Tasmania.
Oh yeah. Yeah, near. It's probably in the water somewhere with the platypus.
Oh, true, probably. But they had a map, but it's all faded.
Oh no.
But we are basically... Oh dear, let's see if I can actually find it. We're what, like here?
Yeah, somewhere in the vicinity of this we are.
That's a big vicinity.
Yeah.
Well, geographical centre.
We've just made it to Bronzy Park and we're doing a quick little top up on our water and empty our grey water and our pee and our rubbish. I always appreciate it when councils have just normal rubbish bins rather than those big stainless steel ones with the small little tiny gap. And once we're done with this, we're continuing on with the road trip.
you like this angle? I'm just gonna start like that.
I was just yawning and everything's just a bloody mess.
Alright, well, we rocked up to Lake St. Clair, and interestingly, this is actually where the Overlander ends, but otherwise we...
And it's the other side of like the Cradle Mountain, Lake St. Clair wilderness area.
So it should be cool, but we pretty much know nothing. I'm facing this way because the sun's better. So we pretty much know nothing about this national park, but we thought we'd just pop by and have a little stroll and check it out.
If we're here, we might as well have a look what is all the fuss about.
Exactly.
So.
Doing the Overlander next, are we, Vian?
We might as well knock it out now. It's only 80 kilometers.
It's super expensive, I think.
Yeah, so. It's so expensive and it's always like booked out.
Yeah.
I remember we looked at it before coming to Tassie and it's just booked
completely booked out for like a year, right?
Yeah, plus.
Hectic.
So, sadly, not on our list of things to do or that we were going to do.
Sad.
We've come down to the world-renowned Lake St. Clair.
It's beautiful.
And you can take a cruise around it. It's very pricey, however. But I was going to suggest that we potentially kayak on this lake, but I'm not game for that because it is Australia's deepest lake at 165 meters.
167?
160 to 170 meters deep, which is just absolutely insane.
I can't believe it gets that deep.
Yeah, right? Like that's
really wild.
It's very wild.
But it's so beautiful and peaceful, and you can see some mountains off in the distance. It's and
at the visitor center,
spot.
they had a book that said like, oh, what animals did you see in the area? Many people have said that they saw Tassie devils, either at the lake or on the walking paths or at the visitor center, as well as quolls.
Spotted tail quolls.
Spotted tail quolls as well. It's yeah.
Definitely a pretty special area.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Super cool.
Sure. It really, I mean, ever since we hit the Highlands, it's reminded me a lot of being back at Cradle, so.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely like a very, very special area.
Lovely.
Well, I guess that's where we leave you guys. Thank you for joining us this week of traveling back up north. And I guess we'll see you next week when we explore the beautiful and exciting Queensland.
We always end the video on whatever we're getting up to.
I know, but we know what we're getting up to.
See you in the next one. Whatever we're getting up to.
Bye, guys.
Bye.